The hour of convening having arrived, all members of the House will please report to the floor and take their seats. All members will come to the floor of the House and take seats. We're going to have the morning roll call here momentarily. Clerk will ring the bell. All members, please report to the floor of the House. We're going to have the morning roll call. All members present will please vote green to signify their presence in the chamber, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? Would someone vote Representative Alicia Thomas Morgan's machine? Have all members now voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine. Well, good morning, everyone. I want to ask the doorkeepers to please close the doors and keep them closed. Before we go any further, I want to welcome to this House our newest member, Representative Sam Moore from the 22nd House District. So Representative Moore. I'm going to ask that you give us your cooperation this morning. We're going to have our devotion and then hopefully take up business rather quickly, and then I think we have a schedule agreement with the Senate that you're going to really find interesting, so in a good way. We will have scripture reading and prayer by the chaplain, after which we will pledge allegiance to the flag. Our chaplain this morning will be introduced by the lady from the 39th House District, Representative Alicia Thomas Morgan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning. You know, it was difficult to prepare for this introduction this morning because now begins the first of all the last for me as state representative. And so this morning I'm really honored to have my pastor here to serve as the preacher of the day. Pastor Wilbur T. Purvis III was born in Mansfield, Louisiana. And if you attend our church, we often hear about stories about Louisiana. When he came to Atlanta, he came as pastor of Mount Sinai, and at the time, we just had 30 members. Now, Destiny World Church in Austell has over 3,500 members, and many who watch around the world through simulcast. He's married to the lovely Kimberly Purvis, who is not here with us this morning, but she has done an amazing job as our First Lady and as his wife. If you know Pastor Purvis, you know that he loves alliteration during his messages, and so I'm going to attempt to do one this morning. He is a father of Destin and Christina, devoted and a passionate dad to them and to the youth of our church. He's a faith leader. He believes in the holistic person to not only have a relationship with God, but to grow politically, personally, professionally, and financially. His leadership has empowered our church community to engage in the community, whether it was the floods of 2009, where we gathered and helped the constituents in my district, or hosting a number of forums on issues like voting rights or HIV/AIDS, or marching for Gennaro Wilson, or preaching about Trayvon Martin. He has also used his voice in the pulpit to make sure that parents have a choice in the schools for their children. And finally, he's my friend. Anytime I call, he says yes, whether it's to a town hall meeting, whether it's a campaign contribution, or just to talk. And sometimes I wonder when the phone rings if he looks at it and says, uh-oh, what does she want now? And he's also helped me get through some of the biggest challenges that I've faced. And one of them he will remember is when we had the meeting with the Sons of Confederate Veterans. That was when he realized that friendship costs. But he's also helped me through some of the most challenging issues of my life, including some of my personal transitions that I've recently made. And so what I've learned from Pastor Purvis over the last 12 years that I've been a member of Destiny are some critical life lessons. One is to never make permanent decisions in temporary situations. 2 is to always operate in excellence. And 3 is that the best is yet to come. And so I'm honored this morning to introduce to you and present to others my pastor, my friend, my faith leader, Wilbur Purvis III.
Good morning. Representative Morgan's introduction of me reminds me of the lady who went to a funeral of her husband. She and her son was sitting there on the front row, and everybody who got up spoke so well of the guy, about how great of a father he was, how great of a provider he was, what a great faith person he was. And it so confused the mom sitting and wife sitting on the front row, she hit her son who was sitting there and said, we done come to the wrong funeral. Mr. Speaker, to this esteemed assembly of policymakers, members of the Cobb delegation, citizens of the great state of Georgia, last but certainly not least, to Representative Alicia Thomas Morgan, who has, in my estimation, been an unrelenting champion of constituents' rights there in South Cobb County, across the state of Georgia, and yes, even these United States. Today, on behalf of the constituents of South Cobb, ma'am, we express to you a profound thank you and appreciation for all the work that you have done for South Cobb County. Ladies and gentlemen, about a month ago, Southwest Airlines flight number 4013 left Chicago's Midway Airport, originally scheduled to fly to Dallas with a stop in Branson, Missouri. But instead, the aircraft touched down at Taney County Airport, some 8.6 miles from its intended destination. Imagine, if you will, bringing down a plane for a landing, only to surprisingly discover that you have safely landed in the wrong place. Safely on the ground, but in the wrong place. A textbook landing. One problem, though, landed in the wrong place. No one harmed, no one injured, but still in the wrong place. This incident has changed the tone and tenor of my prayers and hopefully yours. We can no longer just applaud safe landings, but now we must, with precision and practicality, work to arrive at the right place. Let us not today forget that every citizen has a ticket handed to them by their Creator and the Constitution, I might add, to arrive at the right place regardless of where they sit on the plane, whether in first class, business class, or coach. Every citizen has a right to arrive at the right place. Every passenger should be able to land at a quality education in spite of where they sit on the plane. Every senior citizen should have access to first-class medical care, regardless of where they sit on the plane. We have arrived at the wrong place when my mom and your mom, our seniors, bridge builders, have to decide this month whether it's going to be paying the mortgage or purchasing medicine. The second thing that caught my attention about this Southwest flight was these were, if you will, veteran pilots at the controls. I must admit that I have flown enough to no longer peep into the cockpit to see who is manning the plane. When I get on the plane, like many of you, I automatically assume that the airlines, the pilots, will get me safely to my destination. These were not rookie pilots, yet they made a rookie mistake with potentially catastrophic consequences. There are, I might add to you, ma'am and sir, that there are too many people counting on us today. Over 1.6 million public school students are counting on us. Seniors are counting on us for affordable housing, medical care, and access to quality food. Too many people are counting on us. Businesses are counting on us to create an environment where free enterprise can thrive. People are counting on us today. Dads and moms are counting on us to create jobs so they can feed their families. Too many people are counting on us. Thus, I submit to you that we can no longer have pilots at the controls who are more concerned about their political career than they are about the people of Georgia. We can no longer sit comfortably with people at the controls who have more allegiance to party lines than they do to everyday problems. Lastly, as I take my seat, I was not on that plane that day. But this thought, ma'am and sir, unnerved me when I processed what it must have been like to have been sitting on that plane that day. Here's the issue. The runway at Taney County Airport is just over 3,700 feet long. It's about half the distance of the runway at the intended destination. Because of the short runway, every second counted in trying to bring this 737 to a screeching halt. To a screeching halt, I might add, before it careened over a steep embankment. Every second counted. When the plane finally stopped, they were 300 feet away from a tragic end. I don't know about you guys, but that's too close for comfort for me. Let me remind everyone in this chamber here today that every second counts. When I peep out of the window from the seat that I sit in, all indications suggest that we are rapidly approaching the end of the runway. Benjamin Mays said it best. I have only just a minute, only 60 seconds in it. Forced upon me, can't refuse it, didn't seek it, didn't choose it. But it's up to me to use it. I must suffer if I lose it, give an account if I abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, but eternity is in it. Let's pray. Dear Lord, today we ask for your divine wisdom and guidance. I pray for the men and women servants of this great state, that you would use them to bring change and reformation to the state of Georgia. Help us today, Father, to be good pilots of everything that you have assigned to our hands. Teach us today to make wise use of the time that you have given us. May this day give your name glory today and forevermore. In your name we pray. Amen. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Doorkeepers will unlock the doors. Chair recognizes Chairman Chokas, Chairman of the Committee on Information and Audits.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker. Your Committee on Information and Audits has reviewed the journals of the previous legislative day and have found them to be correct.
Chairman Chokas, the Chair of the Committee on Information and Audits, reports that the journal of the previous legislative day has been read and found to be correct. Is there any objection to the confirmation of the journal? The chair hears none and the journal is confirmed. The clerk will read the resolution establishing the order of business for the day.
Mr. O'Neill, the 146 moves that the following be established as the order of business during the first part of the period. Unanimous consents. Introduction of bills and resolutions. First reading and reference of House bills and resolutions. Second reading of bills and resolutions. Reports of standing committees. First reading and reference of Senate bills and resolutions. Morning orders.
Is there any objection to the adoption of the resolution establishing the order of business for the day? The chair hears none, and the resolution is adopted. First reading of bills and resolutions, the clerk will read.
House Bill 970 by Representative Gregory of the 34th to amend Title 40 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to motor vehicles and traffic.
Judiciary.
House Bill 971 by Representative Rogers of the 29th to amend Chapter 1 of Title 43 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to general provisions relative to professions and businesses.
Health and Human Services.
House Bill 972 by Representative Spencer of the 180th to amend Article 1 of Chapter 9 of Title 19 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to general provisions relative to child custody proceedings.
Judiciary.
House Bill 973 by Representative Lindsay to amend Article 7B of Chapter 4, Title 49 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to false Medicaid claims.
Judiciary non-civil.
House Bill 975 by Representative Carson, the 46, to amend Code Section 48-2-52 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated, relating to responsible person liability for trust fund taxes.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 976 by Representative Flood of the 64th, to authorize the governing authority of the City of Fayetteville to levy an excise tax.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
House Bill 977 by Representative Jacobs of the 80th, to amend Article 3 and 10 of Chapter 11 of Title 9 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated, relating to pleadings and motions and forms.
Judiciary.
House Bill 978 by Representative Stevens of the 164th, to amend an act creating the Georgia International Maritime Trade Center Authority.
Economic Development and Tourism.
House Bill 979 by Representative Jacobs of the 80th, to amend Code Section 20-2-52.1 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated.
Governmental Affairs.
House Bill 980 by Representative Flood of the 64th, to amend Code Section 48-8-200.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 981 by Representative Jacobs of the 80th, to amend Code Section 45-5-6.
Governmental Affairs.
House Bill 982 by Representative Williams of the 115th, to amend Chapter 1 of Title 7 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated, relating to financial institutions.
Banks and Banking.
House Bill 985 by Representative Kirby, the 114th, to amend Article 2 of Chapter 10 of Title 16 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated, relating to obstruction of public administration.
Judiciary Non-Civil.
House Bill 986 by Representative Black of the 174th, to amend an act establishing the State Court of Lowndes County.
Judiciary.
House Bill 987 by Representative Gregory, the 34th, to amend Part 14 of Article 6 of Chapter 2 of Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated, relating to educational programs under the Quality Basic Education Act.
Education.
House Resolution 1302 by Representative Buckner of the 137th, honoring the life of Mrs. Eleanor D. Roosevelt.
Transportation.
House Resolution 1303 by Representative Kelly of the 16th, honoring the life of Trooper Billy Arthur Tanner.
Transportation.
House Resolution 1305 by Representative Stevens of the 164th, creating the CEBLA Water Supply Task Force.
Natural Resources and Environment.
House Resolution 1329 by Representative Holt of the 112th, dedicating the Stanton Springs Parkway.
Transportation.
House Resolution 1330 by Representative Mosby of the 83rd, creating the Joint Study Committee on DeKalb County Governance.
Governmental Affairs.
Senate Bill 290 by Senator Burke of the 11th, to amend Article 2 of Chapter 8 of Title 4 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated, relating to responsible dog ownership.
Judiciary.
Senate Bill 305 by Senator Tippins of the 37th, to amend Chapter 2 of Title 25 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated, relating to regulation of fire and other hazards.
Public Safety and Homeland Security.
Senate Bill 322 by Senators Harper of the 7th, to amend Chapter 1 of Title 27 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated, relating to general provisions relative to game and fish.
Game, Fish, and Parks.
Senate Bill 329 by Senator Wilkinson of the 50th, to amend Chapter 2 of Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated, relating to elementary and secondary education.
Education.
That completes first readings.
Second reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
HB 952 by Representative Roberts of the 155th, a bill relating to regulation of fireworks. HB 953 by Representative Pack of the 108th, a bill to amend an act creating the Gwinnett Judicial Circuit. HB 954 by Representative Harrell of the 106th, a bill relating to general provisions regarding ad valorem taxation of property. HB 955 by Representative Roberts of the 155th, a bill relating to general provisions regarding state sales and use tax. HB 956 by Representative Harbin of the 122nd, bill relating to joint development authorities. HB 957 by Representative Williams of the 119th, a bill to amend the Georgia Hazardous Site Reuse and Redevelopment Act. HB 958 by Representative Nemmer of the 178th, the bill relating to revenue and taxation. HB 959 by Representative McCall of the 33rd, a bill relating to ad valorem taxation of property. HB 960 by Representative Roberts of the 155th, a bill relating to urban redevelopment for counties and municipal corporations. HB 961 by Representative Black of the 174th, a bill to amend an act creating the Board of Commissioners for Charlton County. HB 962 by Representative Black of the 174th, a bill to amend an act providing the election of the members of the Board of Education for Charlton County. HB 963 by Representative Smyrie of the 135th, a bill relating to gambling and other offenses. HB 964 by Representative Lindsay of the 54th, a bill relating to state charter schools, HB 965 by Representative Cooper of the 43rd, a bill relating to general provisions relative to controlled substances, HB 966 by Representative Cooper of the 43rd, a bill relating to pharmacies, HB 967 by Representative Pruitt of the 149th, a bill to provide for the abolition of current charters of the municipalities of the city of Helena and the city of McRae, HB 968 by Representative Martin of the 49th, a bill relating to specific business and occupation taxes, HB 969 by Representative Smith of the 134th, a bill relating to exemptions from sales and use tax, HB 974 by Representative Maxwell of the 17th, a bill relating to amount of dues, deadline, and minimum period for payments, HB 983 by Representative McCall of the 33rd, a bill relating to general provisions relative to state sales and use tax, HB 984 by Representative Stevens of the 164th, a bill relating to Department of Economic Development, House Resolution 1282 by Representative Buckner of the 137th, resolution honoring the life of Trooper First Class William Gaines Andrews Jr., dedicating a road in his memory, House Resolution 1283 by Representative Harbin of the 122nd, resolution dedicating the bridge at Interstate 20 and Lewiston Road in Columbia County as the Lieutenant General Robert E. Gray Memorial Bridge. Through second readers.
Reports of standing committees, the clerk will read.
Representative England of the 116th District, Chairman of the Committee on Appropriations, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Appropriations has had under its consideration the following bills of the House and Senate and has instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendations. House Bill 697, due pass by substitute. House Bill 744, due pass by substitute. Respectfully submitted, Representative Terry England of the 116th District. Representative Carter of the 175th District, Chairman of the Committee on Governmental Affairs, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Governmental Affairs is under consideration the following bill of the House and has instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendations. House Bill 436, due pass. House Bill 739, due pass. Respectfully submitted, Chairman of the 175th District.
We're going on to morning orders. House will come to order. This House will come to order. Chair's going to ask all members that are in the chamber to find their seats and give the members in the well the respect and attention that you would want. Chair recognizes for a morning order Representative Al Williams. Representative Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise because on yesterday, during the debate of House Bill 714, I just wanted to assure each of my brothers and sisters here that I'm an extemporaneous speaker, and sometimes some things happen. No one spoke to me about it. It's not prompted, but I felt like I needed to come to this House and apologize for one part of what I said. It was a little over the top when I talked about the chamber and what they hadn't done. There's nothing I respect more than the decorum of this House. And I don't ever want to be guilty of misusing it. So because I feel like I needed to come, no one prompted me. I spoke with passion, I believed everything I said, but some things I didn't have to say. I apologize to the Speaker and I apologize to each of you, and if anyone took offense, please let me be the first one to apologize to you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
Chair recognizes Representative Holt for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The reception scheduled this evening by the Georgia State Retirees and the Georgia Professional Human Services Association has been canceled and will be moved to the 26th. You'll be receiving more information. Thank you.
House will come to order. House will be in order. All members take their seats. All members in the chamber. Clerk will read the caption to an invite resolution.
House Resolution 1307 by Representative Tanner of the 9th and Ralston of the 7th, commending Cole Simmons and inviting him to be recognized by the House of Representatives and for other purposes.
Chair recognizes Representative Tanner for an invite resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I come before you today to honor someone from Dawson County that we're extremely proud of. It's been 41 years since Georgia has produced a national FBLA president. This year, Georgia is blessed to have the national FBLA president, and Dawson County High School is blessed to not only have the national FBLA president, but also the same individual serving as the state FBLA president for the state of Georgia. And we're here to recognize Cole for that purpose. But if he looks famous to you, it's because you saw him week before last, he and his family on the Family Feud. They were on the Family Feud, and they won. They were there 4 nights, and they won 3 of those 4 nights, and his soggy bread answer got him kicked off the 4th night. But we won't hold that against him. But Cole is here today with Ryan Coker from Dawson County High School, his FBLA advisor, and Marty Rhodes, who's the executive director of the state FBLA. We're very blessed to have Cole here with us today, and would like to ask him to just say a few words. Please welcome Cole to the House.
Thank you. I wanted to first start off by thanking all of you for your continued support of students across the state, but especially in the spirit of not only National Career and Technical Education Month, but also FBLA Week. Thank you for your support of students and programs like these that have changed not only my life, but the lives of millions of other students across the nation. So thank you for having me here today. This is a huge honor, and thank you for your support.
We're about to go on to the rules calendar. Clerk will read the caption. Clerk will read the caption to House Bill 773. House Bill 773.
House Bill 773 by Representative Dickey of the 140th to amend Part 1 of Article 4 of the Chapter 11 of Title 16 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to the general provisions relative to dangerous instrumentalities and practices. This bill having come before the Committee on Public Safety and Homeland Security, the committee recommends the same do pass by committee substitute and be read for the 3rd time.
Chair recognizes Representative Dickey to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of the House, I bring forward you this morning House Bill 773. As many of you may or may not know, it's against state law to discharge a firearm within 50 yards of a public highway or road for any reason. And this bill addresses some potential problems that have arisen within this 50-yard zone. This bill would allow 4 common sense exceptions to the 50-yard restriction: an indoor or outdoor sports shooting range, facilities used for firearm or hunter safety courses, and any business location that's a licensed dealer that repairs, sells, or demonstrates firearms, and legal hunting outside of a municipality. GMA and DNR both testified in favor of this bill. It's a safety bill and avoid some other problems. So I ask your consideration on HB 773 this morning.
You don't appear to have any questions.
Thank you.
Gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee substitute? The chair hears none. The committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of House Bill 773 will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines on the passage of House Bill 773. The ayes are 153, the nays are 2. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Clerk will read the caption to House Bill 840. House Bill 840. Let's go. Come on.
House Bill 840 by Representative Golick, the 40th, to amend Code Section 33-2-24 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to the Commissioner's enforcement of the title of rules, regulations, and orders. This bill having come before the Committee on Insurance, the committee recommends the same do pass and be read for the 3rd time.
Chair recognizes Chairman Golick to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, House Bill 840 comes to us at the request of the Insurance Department. This is an administrative cleanup bill. Right now, the Department of Insurance obviously has the authority over certain licensees, and for noncompliance have the ability to enforce those the rules and laws and regulations, and to put forward fines if necessary. What this does is essentially it cleans up the code so that it includes any person who is licensed under Georgia law or should be licensed under Georgia law. As you see on line 14, it lists out insurer, agent, broker, counselor, solicitor, administrator, adjuster. Over the course of time, we have new roles and responsibilities in our law of individuals who get licensed. A latest and greatest example of that is the navigators who are navigating Georgians through the health exchange. Those individuals are licensed, so as opposed to listing each individual license type over the course of time, it simply envelops it into one category of individuals who are licensed or should be licensed for purposes of the Commissioner's authority and power. That's all the bill does. There's no opposition that I'm aware of, and I'd be happy to answer any questions if there are any.
Do you yield?
Yes, sir.
Chair recognizes Representative Sims to your left for a question.
Gentleman yield.
Yes, sir.
Does this prevent anyone, say an authority over at the Insurance Department, from giving themselves a license for every kind of license there is?
My understanding is that we actually took care of that in a piece of legislation a few years ago, if I recall correctly.
You have no further questions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of House Bill 840 will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines on the passage of House Bill 840. The ayes are 152, the nays are 2. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. The clerk will read the caption to House Bill 477. House Bill 477.
House Bill 477 by Representative Powell, the 171st, to amend Article 5 of Chapter 2 of Title 47 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to service credible towards retirement benefits under the Employees Retirement System in Georgia. This bill having come before the Committee on Retirement, the committee recommends the same do pass and be read for the third time.
Chair recognizes Chairman Jay Powell to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, this is House Bill 477. It provides that someone who has already earned some credit but perhaps is not vested in the JRS, which is judicial retirement, can transfer that credit to the ERS, which is the Employee Retirement System. This identical bill passed in 2012. It got hung up in the Senate after it passed through committee. It got hung up on day 40. And it has no impact on the state treasury except for a $5,000 fee that has already been appropriated. I'd be happy to answer any questions. If not, I'll yield the will.
You have no questions.
Thank you.
Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of House Bill 477 will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines on the passage of House Bill 477. The ayes are 153, the nays are 2. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. The clerk will read the caption to House Bill 849.
House Bill 849 by Representative Maxwell, the 17th, to amend Chapter 63 of Title 33 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to guaranteed asset protection waivers. This bill having come before the Committee on Insurance, the committee recommends same do pass and be read for the third time.
Chair recognizes Chairman Maxwell to present the bill. Just a minute, Mr. Chairman. This House is still in session. Gentleman may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill, just like we did a couple of years ago on gap insurance, clarifies through Title 33 that excess wear and use waivers are not considered insurance. These waivers are purchased when you lease a vehicle in case you run over the mileage or have some dents and extra maybe damages to the vehicle when you turn it in. So we're just asking this not to be considered insurance. The insurance department agrees with this, and I would ask for your favorable consideration.
You have no questions. The gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. Previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of House Bill 849 will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine on the passage of House Bill 849. The ayes are 158, the nays are 0. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Chair is postponing till the next legislative day House Bill 516 and House Bill 758 will be postponed to the next legislative day. We're getting ready to take up an adjournment resolution, and we're going to do that before we leave, but the chair does want to announce all state employees who live north of I-20 and outside of I-285 are being asked to leave work immediately. All state employees. All other state employees. Well, if you don't want to hear the adjournment resolution, that's fine. All other state employees will be asked to leave by noon today. By noon today. We are going to take up an adjournment resolution here momentarily. I will tell you in advance that when we adjourn, we are finished for the week. We're finished for the week. But you will be coming back Monday. Coming back on Monday. We are using our utmost efforts to ensure the safety of the employees here on Capitol Hill as well as the members. If any members have announcements and you haven't signed up with a messenger, Chair is going to direct that any committee meetings which had been scheduled today shall be canceled. All committees that had planned to meet today are going to be canceled. Chair is going to recognize Representative Chuck Williams for an announcement. Representative Williams, give the member your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow's Georgia Forestry Association events day at the Capitol have been canceled. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative Bentley for an announcement. House will be in order.
Thank Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, I'm so sorry to say that the Fort Valley State University Day at the Capitol has been canceled. I'm so sorry. But it will be coming, so just keep in mind, the Fort Valley State University will be here at the Capitol one day soon. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative Shaw for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Rural Caucus lunch tomorrow is canceled, as well as the Lowndes County Bird Supper. Thank you.
Clerk will read the caption to a group of privileged resolutions. Clerk will read.
Following 6 resolutions are to be read and referred to the Committee on Rules. Commending Corporal Stan Phillips, inviting him to be recognized by the House. Congratulating the 2013-2014 McIntosh High School cheerleading squad, and inviting the team and coaches to be recognized by the House. Commending Fort Valley State University, recognizing February 12, 2014 as Fort Valley State University Day at the State Capitol. Recognizing and commending Houston County Sheriff Cullen Talton for his service to the state of Georgia, inviting him to be recognized by the House. Recognizing and commending Troy Paco and inviting him to be recognized by the House. Commending the Jefferson High School Air Force Junior ROTC cadets and inviting them to be recognized by the House. Honoring the life of Joan Zellner. Recognizing February 14, 2014 is the 160th anniversary of the founding of Conyers, Georgia. Congratulating T. Eric Ponder and Tammy Massengale Ponder on their marriage. Recognizing and commending Georgia State University's Legislative Health Policy Certificate Program. Recognizing Tuesday, February 18, 2014 is Lupus Awareness Day at the State Capitol. Commending and recognizing the Ackworth Police Department for its involvement in the covering the Bases event. Honoring the life and memory of Brandon Keith Huff Bennings. Commending the Southwestern Judicial Circuit Bar Association and recognizing Superior Court Judge Rucker Smith, Patrick Calcutt, Kevin Kwasnak, and Alicia Page. Recognizing March 22nd through March 29, 2014 is Atlanta Science Festival Week at the Capitol. That completes the reading of privileged resolutions.
Is there any objection to the adoption of the privileged resolutions? The chair hears none. The resolutions are adopted. What purpose does Representative Drenner rise?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to ask that the rules be suspended to have a bill read and assigned to committee for the first time.
Clerk will read the caption.
Unnumbered House Bill by Representative Drenner of the 85th to amend Article 11 of Chapter 6 of Title 40 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated, relating to miscellaneous provisions regarding the uniform rules of the road.
On the motion of the lady that the rules of this House be temporarily suspended to allow a bill to be read for the first time and assigned to committee, is there objection? The chair hears none. It is so ordered. Motor vehicles. The chair wants to ask you to help me give a shout out to the only page that showed up today, and that's Zoe Mayer, who's paging for Representative Johnny Caldwell. She walked through the snow and the ice to get here. All right, we're going to be at ease just momentarily. I'm going to ask the House just to be at ease. We are letting the Senate act on an adjournment resolution, and the chair thinks it's important enough that we get this done today because it takes us to the end of the session. We'll be at ease. House will begin to come back to order. One more piece of business. Chair wants to remind our staff members. They live north of Interstate 20 and outside of Interstate 285 should already be gone. All staff will be asked to leave when we adjourn. Clerk will read. Just a minute. If you have no interest in this resolution, then go ahead and leave. I suspect some members might want to pay attention to it. We're going to vote it here momentarily, so I'm going to ask all members to take their seats. All members that are within the chamber, find their seats. Clerk will read the caption to a resolution.
House Resolution 1333 by O'Neill of the 146th relative to adjournment and for other purposes.
Chair recognizes the Majority Leader of the House to explain the resolution.
Oh, there we go. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I bring before the House today a resolution that the Senate has just agreed to that they are going to pass right after us, which, believe it or not, gets us to sine die. And Mr. Speaker, after all the threats that I've received from you over the last week or two for not giving these people the schedule that they can plan their lives around, and all the times that you've admonished me that that's the least we can do for everybody who serves in this House, then it's finally here. And I thank you for your casual encouragement all those times. But I certainly do agree with you that it is the least we can do for the people here in this House. I'll go over this real quickly, but I hope it's something that you'll be as excited about as I am to go home knowing that the rest of our time here for this session is planned. Of course, there could be, pending other catastrophic weather conditions, some changes potentially to this, but I think this is a reliable schedule for the rest of our time here. Today was day 21, as you know, and we will be in adjournment for the rest of this week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, in deference to the weather. We were to be out with our former resolution next Monday for President's Day. However, because we're now losing what is tantamount to 4 days for weather, or 5 days actually, or four legislative days, we'll come back Monday instead of Tuesday and be in all next week, which will get us through day 26. And then we will be in adjournment Saturday and Sunday, return the following Monday for day 27, 28, and 29. And then we will be out Thursday through Sunday, which will actually give us 2 legislative days and a weekend to get ready for a crossover day, which is day 30. We usually take off at least the day before, but since that's the time that everything has to be out of the House and crossover, we want to give everybody ample time to prepare for that, because there's a lot of legislation in the pipeline, a lot more than actually even I thought we have, because our committee chairs have been so cooperative with the budget process and allowing us to prioritize that. And they've not really gotten as geared up as they need to be, so there's going to be a lot of committee work done between now and then. So day 30 is anticipated to be Monday, March the 3rd. And then we will probably convene, we'll be in March the 31st, but I'm going to be suggesting we might, since we will have been up to midnight typically as we are on day 30, I'm going to suggest that we consider maybe convening, and we'll do that by a separate resolution that's not in this, maybe at 1 o'clock the following day, where people have a chance to get a night's sleep. That's typically not a huge particularly busy day because it'll be when we start to handle Senate bills that most likely are not out of committee yet. But so that'll give everybody a chance to rest up. We'll be in the rest of that week all the way through Friday, which most of you know is also qualifying week. So you'll be here every day working during qualifying week, and you get to meet your opponent eye to eye, right, Mr. Dean? Yes, sir. While they're here.
We don't have any orientation sessions during that week, Mr. Leader?
Mr. Speaker, there likely might be some. And then coming back Monday, March the 10th for day 35, March 11th, 12th, 13th through day 38. We will be in adjournment Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And that's in deference to all of our good friends, especially in the Savannah area and the Dublin area that have huge economic celebrations on St. Patrick's Day. And those of us still able will return after St. Patrick's Day, which I say that only about me, not y'all, which will be on Tuesday, March 18th for day 39. We will thereafter adjourn Wednesday, March 19th, which gives us a full day for finalizing all of our business before the 40th day, which I assume will be the day that we sine die, which is scheduled now to be Thursday, March the 20th. And the budget is already on everybody's desk. You'll have that to study for the next 5 days. As you might have cabin fever. But Mr. Speaker, I'll be happy to yield any questions, but I ask this House's favorable consideration of this resolution that will allow everybody to plan their lives and also accomplish their commitments to all the constituents of Georgia and get their work done here in a responsible way. And I want to thank you personally as well as corporately for your incredible leadership on this matter. I don't know that I've been here for now almost parts of 2 decades to where we've ever had a resolution this far-reaching or this responsible to our membership, and I think we owe that to your leadership, and I'm grateful. So I'm happy to yield any questions.
You don't appear to have any questions.
In that case, I'll yield the well.
The gentleman has yielded the well. We're going to vote the adjournment resolution, which takes us through sine die. All those in favor of House Resolution 1333 will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine. On the adoption of House Resolution 1333, the ayes are 153, the nays are 0. This resolution, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore adopted. For what purpose does the majority leader rise? What purpose does the majority leader rise?
I'm now informed that I rise to ask to make a motion we immediately transmit the resolution we just passed.
Majority leader has moved that this House immediately transmit House Resolution 1333 to the Senate. Is there objection? The chair hears none, and it is so ordered, and it's on its way over. We've got some birthdays that we want to call attention to. On Friday, Valentine's Day, it'll be the birthday of the chairman of the Agriculture and Consumer Affairs Committee, Chairman McCall. On Saturday, birthday greetings to Representative Sharon Beasley Teague. And on Sunday, before we get back, birthday greetings to Representative Sheila Jones and to Representative Tom Kirby on Sunday, February the 16th. There being no other announcements, no other business to come before the House, I want to bid all of you a safe journey back to your home. What the conditions are deteriorating and expect to deteriorate considerably overnight. So please be safe. Chair recognizes the Majority Leader for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move this House now adjourn until 10 p.m. Monday, February 17, 2014.
That was 10 a.m.
Pardon me, a.m. Correction.
On the motion of the Majority Leader that this House adjourn until Monday, February the 17th, 2014 at 10 o'clock a.m. All those in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed will say no. The ayes have it. This House will be adjourned until Monday, February the 17th at 10 a.m.